All right. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello, it's so good to see everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Jersey. If I wouldn't drop my phone, that's nice.
Where's my phone? Well, let me
And we
change.
are excited to see you today and to talk about this thing that everyone's heard about, but we, at least for me, we kind of like don't really know what it really is, but we hear about it and kind of say, "Oh, okay." So I think it's going to be exciting to have Simca break it down for us.
Definitely. And if any of you have ever seen any of his workshops online, or if you've been to any of his workshops, he's truly amazing. Lots of fun. I was telling Robin before the hang, I found a video that we're going to show because it's Simca. He's not on the harp, but we really think that we have found next month's guest.
Yes.
Simca's duo partner. Katie, can you cue that up, please, Katie?
Oh, great.
So we're thinking, I think the dog's name is Nagan. We're thinking maybe next month. I mean, Nagan's in tune, right?
I made in tune. I love it. I love it. It's
I
just
hope you
so
don't mind. We
great.
may show that quickly again after everybody's in because I got such a kick out of that. But
Oh, we did, and we didn't ask permission, but you know what they say, once something's out online, it's everybody. So I hope Simca is still there and going to be coming forward real soon for us, you
no,
know.
just to talk a little bit about modes, I don't know about the rest of you, but anything that I'm unfamiliar with theoretically usually has me quaking in my boots. And interestingly enough, I'm a graduate with a music degree. So I learned about the modes in theory, and theoretically, I could explain them to you. I could write them out. But as with so many things, and I know a lot of you have heard me say that, especially people in heart mastery, uh, when I was in school, you didn't actually apply what you were learning. Like you read the theory book. Yes, I see Kimberly shaking her head. Yeah. You memorized it, you spit it out on the test, or you played it on the piano. I remember which didn't help me that much. All those, it's just so different. So I was thrilled a few weeks ago. I was doing something for the Healing Harps program, and Simcoe was the guest. And he just really made sense of it to me. Like it was like, oh, yeah. And a lot of it has to do with improv, another word which also makes me quake in my boots. But knowing about the modes makes a big difference. You really can learn to do some beautiful and simple improv. And basically the modes are to me, I think of them as different personalities. We're so used to C major and we're so used to minor or any major and minor we're used to. But and we're used to the sound and the different sounds, but the modes are not as familiar to us. And that's a shame, I think, because they have a lot to offer. There are a lot of rock and roll tunes. I may try and find, I had a list of some of them before we get off here. And when I learned about those tunes that I knew that were in a mode, that made sense too. It kind of gave me something to hold on to, if that makes
No,
any
you start to hear it, and I think it's like so many things. Some of us are doing, I mean, come on, how many of us have been sitting there either waiting for a bride or all of a sudden having more time than we thought, or it's really like 2 minutes before you have to end your set and you don't want to play a whole new piece, so you're just kind of noodling around. You are probably noodling in one of the modes and you just don't know it. And so I'm really excited on Simca's website. I love that he says, believe in your dreams, because what a great way to start. I mean, spring is supposed to be here, maybe coming, but when I got out of my car, my peonies were starting, like I saw the buds there, and I was like, oh my gosh, the buds are here. And so, this thing that we're about to do with diving into the modes, I think is a great time, just like the beginning of spring. Even though, and David, you should have never said it because it won't leave my head. David's favorite mode is pie a la mode. So there you have it.
that was David's contribution when we right before we got on. to today's discussion. So sorry, my dog apparently has found out that we've shown that clip, and now she wants to be on. Um, so that's her barking. I'll have to get David to keep her quiet.
We can't
But
hear it.
I have to say, when I was looking through Simcha, and it's pronounced, he's very lovely with pronouncing his name. You know how you meet somebody who's like a Carolyn, and you say Caroline, and they like freak out. Well, Simcha gave us three ways of saying it, either Simcha or with the Gaelic Simcha or Simcha. So you can't go wrong either way. But one thing that I really appreciated in one of his presentations was he talked about finding the proper time or the right time for you, physically the time to practice. And I thought about that. Sometimes we put our practice schedule in the morning, and we just do it because that's when we're supposed to. But he talked a little bit in this presentation about finding the time that works best for you creatively, especially if you're going to work with improv. And I definitely got a lot out of that. So I am going to give the trivia before Robin gives a very brief introduction of Simcha. And the trivia question for today is Park Stickney. You know what? That's who we should have on, Park Stickney, after we have Nagan next month. But he has a wonderful mnemonic for remembering the modes. So for the first person who can send in either on or send in the chat the mnemonic that Park Stickney uses to remember the modes, that would be great. And then we'll also give a mug. Robin, show them what they'll win, Robin.
There we go.
Hanging with the
Hanging
harp.
with the harp, and
Oh,
everyone
I
else
see
can show theirs.
Kimberly's drinking from hers. If you have a mnemonic,
Yes.
if you make one up during the session for how to remember the modes, we'll pick the best one of those too. So two chances today. You can give us Parks, just put it in the chat, or you can come up with your own.
I
So
love that.
I'm gonna hand it over to Robin. She's gonna give a brief introduction and on to our wonderful guest today.
Yes, and very brief because it's 3:59, but he is a harpist that lives in the Upper Galilee of Israel with his wife and children. He was born in the USA, and it was about 15 years old when he moved to Israel and has been there. And the thing that I love, he specializes in improvisation, singing with the harp, songs from ancient time, all of that stuff, incorporating technology, and you'll hear some of the things, creating landscapes. And one of the things that I got even from reading all of his bio is that he really plays the harp, plays the harp from his heart, like he's playing music that he feels and that he sees. And he's got a Strings of Hope where he teaches people all around the world this concept, this playing from your very soul and your very heart. And I think the modes is kind of almost like one of the tools that can help you discover what sound is really yours. So without any further anything, we'd love Simcha to reveal himself. It's my favorite part. It's like TV show. Simcha, you can unmute and you can whatever that thing is we do when we hide ourselves. Unless he's gone for a walk. Hello. There he is.
Hey.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
Hi, everyone. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Mary Jane. It's so nice to be here. So tonight we're going to talk a little about a bit about modes. Hope you all have your harps ready because we're going to just jump straight into them. I think one of the best ways of understanding modes is to feel them. So we're going to start right off with a little harp meditation on modes, and we'll take it from there. So right now my harp is tuned to the key of C major. So that would just be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. However you have your harp tuned to that. And I'm going to bring up a drone to join us on that. So a drone is kind of like a musical tone that just plays in the background. If you have headphones, it might help you to hear it better. It's kind of a low background tone. And we are tuned to C, but I'm actually going to start with a D on my left hand. So my left hand is playing a D and an A. And I'll play to 6/8 rhythm. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D, A. And my right hand, I'm going to just start saying phrases, and you can follow along with me. You can answer to what I play, or you can find your own tune. So for my right hand, just to get into it, I'll play the 1 with the left hand, 2, 3 with the right hand, 4 left hand, 5, 6 right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll start playing a phrase. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to say some sort of phrase with the harp to walk around a bit. And since we are in a Dorian mode here, I'll play around that B note and let that be my what's going to color the mode. But you don't have to understand that now. We'll get into that later. C, D, 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 C, B, A, B, C, B, A. So that's like a little warm-up there, just to get comfortable with the harp. So did anyone here recognize that mode that we just played? Yeah, wonderful. So Dorian is one of the popular modes. It's played often in Celtic music, it's played in ancient music. I think one of the most popular Dorian song modes is modes. Really, as Robin said, it really gives color, it really gives character, and takes us out of the regular place that we're playing. What I love so much about modes is how it's so accessible. We're tuned to a regular C major scale here, right? It sounds so different, but remember that the harp is still in that C, D, da, 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 da. We're in that regular scale, and the only thing that changed from playing C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C to this, what we just did, is two things here really changed. So one thing is, instead of starting on C, we started somewhere else. And another thing that changed, which is very significant, is we're floating around, jumping around a certain melody note, which helps open up that mode. So I have a trivia question myself, and I'd love if people could unmute and answer now. If you could describe a mode in one word, what would that be?
Flavor.
Flavor, okay. Any other ideas?
Emotion.
Emotion. Nice. Expansion.
Mysterious.
Mysterious. Alteration. Oh, wow.
Lyrical.
Miracle. Ooh, these are great. I should write these down. exotic. Okay, what about, let me rephrase that. What if you could describe technically what a mode is? Like if someone said, so here we had a lot of really beautiful descriptions about what like modes are like. But if you could describe, someone said, how do modes work in one word? Because like modes is interesting. You could talk about modes for years, and the more you get about it, a scale, okay. The more you get to it, the more that you realize you don't know. And then I was trying to think, well, if I could just say it in one word, what would that be? Altered note. Notes in a major or minor scale. Okay. Altered note is very close to what I had in mind. A pattern. Nice. Consonants. Okay. Really cool words here. Feeling. So I'll give the answer that I planned here, and I'm going to bring up the slideshow that I put together. And if anyone here has any questions, feel free to ask in the middle. And when I was putting together this slideshow for the meeting tonight, I was trying to think what would be the simplest way to describe a mode, and I came up with two things. So one of them is a ladder. Basically, modes, we have, like here's the notes of a major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And I had it continue because it's just an ongoing ladder. So basically, if I start on C, and I have C being my root, so then I'm in one of the modes. If I move up, I'm in another mode. If I move up more, I'm in another mode. So I like kind of looking at modes as a ladder. And I'm walking up the ladder of the major scale.
And excuse me 1 second, Simcha. I just want to remind everybody, if you go into your top right and make Simcha the speaker, you'll see his share in a bigger way instead of looking at all of our faces. So off you go. So put the speaker up if you'd like to see it. Okay.
So another idea I had about connecting to is like a wheel. So modes, we have this wheel of the notes of the major scale. And basically starting on a different one will open up that different mode for each one. Now notice that the way that modes are taught most Western music is just the modes of the major scale, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, and so on and so on. But actually, since a mode is just a step of a ladder or a step in the spoke of a wheel, you can do this to any scale. So you could take a pentatonic scale and starting on, like, for example, right now, you know, there's a fun pentatonic scale if you play just the white notes of, just the white strings of the harp when you're tuned to C. So that's like a instant pentatonic scale. So here are just modes of the pentatonic scale. If I start on the E, so I'm in a minor mode of the pentatonic scale, right? And if you start somewhere else, so now I started on G, and I'm playing the same notes, but everything changed. So that's modes of a pentatonic scale. So the modes isn't only the 7 modes of the major scale that we're used to. There's actually tens of modes, and some music theory nerds will say there's hundreds of modes. So the idea of just modes is something that's a moving, it's taking the scale and moving through it. The handout that you got is this chart over here, which we're going to go through now and understand how you can use this on your own time or in your own practice to access the modes. And there's basically two main thoughts, two main approaches I have for figuring out the mode. So one is taking the mother scale, which is just taking the major scale or whatever scale you're in. Most Western music will be the major scale. And C, so like I would just, by starting on a different part of the scale, I would access those 7 modes. And then another way is by comparing the mode to its native major or minor scale. So you'll see there's major modes and minor modes. So we have the Ionian is a first mode, then Dorian is a minor, Phrygian's a minor, Lydian's a major. So each one, if I want to find F Lydian, I would compare it with an F major scale, and then change one of those notes to turn that into the Lydian modes. Like if I want to play, but we're not going to deal so much with this, with the find the different chart right now in this workshop. And you can find much more about it on my YouTube. There's a journey through the modes. There's it's like an 1.5-hour workshop using this chart. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the mother scale, and as we're going through each step, you'll see we're going to mostly use this wheel just because I find it visually easier, and there will be a little cutout of this chart so that you can understand how to apply that later by each step. So right now we're tuned to C major, and here's the notes. And watch is basically what changes here. To open up the mode, there's two things that are going to change. So if this sounds like gibberish, so just let it come on in layers, and at some point modes clicks. If it's not now, it might be next time you watch it or something else. So right now, what we're going to change to access the mode is the root. So we're going to move along in our ladder or in our wheel, and instead of starting on C like we did over here in the major scale, in the first mode, the Ionian mode, we'll start on D like we did at the warm-up. So I'm starting on D here, and you're welcome to join me. And there's a flavor note in each mode that will bring out that mode, and that in Dorian, that's the 6th note. And the reason for that is because that's what differentiates the D minor from a D Dorian. So a D minor would have a B flat over there. I'll just play a D minor scale. So that's a D minor, right? Now what differentiates a D minor from Dorian is that 6th note. So I'm going to put that up, sharpen the 6th note of any minor scale, and you have a Dorian. That's a 6th note, the B. So if you take any minor scale, and go up, count up 6, the 6th note, and put it up 1, sharpen it, you'll have Dorian. Or if you take the 2nd step of the major scale, like we did here, we tuned to C, moved up 1, and then counted up to the 6th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to that B. And that 6th note will give us that flavor note. So that's Dorian. Let's now move on to the next step. Let's go on to E. So we'll move up to the next step of the major scale. And you can see what changes here is now we have the root on E. So notice I'm not changing the tuning of the harp. The harp is tuned to C all along. Now we're just in E. And the flavor note is that F. So you can feel how much the energy just changed from where we were. A pretty popular song in Phrygian is Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun by Pink Floyd. Set the controls for the heart of the sun. That's a Phrygian song. And you'll notice that what changes here again, why, like if you're ever trying to figure out, because I don't want to have to memorize all this stuff when I'm playing modes. So like if you want to figure out what's that keynote, so if you're a little bit familiar with scales, then you can be like, okay, I'm in E right now. I'm trying to play Phrygian. An E minor scale would have that F sharp. Why minor? Because Phrygian is a minor mode, so I'll compare it to a minor scale. And I'll see, well, what's different here is that F. And so that must be my keynote. That's what's going to make this mode shine. That's what's changing it from a regular E minor. So to sum up just a little bit to get the feeling of what we did so far, we started in C. We'll just hear how each thing changes. So I'm playing in C right now. I'm moving up to D. And I'll play around on that B note. So you can hear how much that changes. Now move up to E, just to hear that Phrygian. So this is what's so much fun about, like, it makes the mode so accessible, is having it all in this major scale without needing to change the tuning. Now let's move up to the next step of the wheel, or the ladder of the major scale. So now we're moving up to F. Lydian, this is one of my favorite modes. So we said every mode has a flavor note. So Lydian, again, what will differentiate? Lydian's a major mode. So and I'm starting on F. So what an F major scale would normally have a B flat. Just so you can hear that a second. F, G, A, B, C, D, F. That would be an F major. Because I flattened my B. Now I'm putting it back up. I'm tuning back to the C major scale. Just so that you can hear the difference. So Nancy, I think that is saying, why is this called the mother scale? So the mother scale is C major. We're tuned to a specific scale to access the mode, each step of the mode. So the scale, the mother scale, is C major, just this method of the wheel that we have here is, I'm calling it the mother scale because I'm tuned to a specific scale. You don't really have to think this part through when you're taking this approach. I have them both here so that you'll understand how to use the chart on your own. But the idea of using the mother scale is just tuning to a major scale at the beginning and then just going through the steps of that major scale. That would be what I call using the mother scale. Tune to a major scale and then stop thinking from there. From there, just pick a step of the scale of the wheel and play around with it. And really the only thing you need to know is what's the flavor note. So for Lydian, again, to access that mode, to really get the mode to open up, we'll go around the flavor note. So I'm playing now around that B. B, C, B, C, D, C, B, C, A. So that, just jumping around that flavor note is what's going to unlock it all for me. And you can hear it staying on the note too long, it brings up this dissonance. So like, the key here is to jump around it. I'll send out a copy of the slides afterwards for everyone. Okay, let's go into the next mode. So here's Mixolydian. So we're basically moving up one more step in that mother scale. We have this nice major, again, why is that why is the F the flavor note? Because a G major scale would have an F sharp. Here, since we don't have an F sharp, it's what differentiates the G. It's one of my favorite songs to show, Mixolydian, Grateful Dead song. From Dark Star, so you have I find Mixolydian is really like uppy, like happy, joyful, kind of taking a walk on a beautiful day, butterflies and birds chirping, and that's really to do the mode. Like I would just like find a rhythm with my left hand. I'm just dum bum 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 bum, and just start walking around the scale. There's really no way to go wrong. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Just walking up and down. Ba, 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 do, 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 do. Then give that, we want to hear that F. Da, 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 do, 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 do. So you don't really have to understand what you're doing. You're just tuned to the mother scale, tuned to the key, okay? And then taking the root, and then just playing around and hitting up that flavor note. Has this like bluesy feel to it. Okay, so the next mode we have here is Aeolian. It's the 6th mode of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have a lot of soulful music is in Aeolian. What is that? How do you identify the flavor note? So the flavor note you identify by comparing it with the relative major or minor scales. Like since Mixolydian is a major mode, I would compare if I'm on G, so I'd compare it with a G major and see, okay, a G major would have an F sharp. Here, since I'm in the key of C, there's no F sharp. That's my hint that that's the flavor note that's going to bring it out. You say, what makes it different than a regular scale? Now we're in Aeolian, so this is like very soulful. This is also known as the natural minor. So actually, if you're wondering why I didn't speak about a flavor note for the first mode for Ionian up here when we start that, or Aeolian, because this is the natural major, the major scale and the natural minor. It's like these are what we're used to. It doesn't differentiate from what it is already. I love playing an Aeolian. I find it so meditative. You could say like a flavor note is perhaps the C, because like it's what makes it different from an A major. It's like if I'll play a phrase, I might go A, B, C, C, D, C, B, C, B, G, A. Okay, and now coming up with one of the most lesser known modes is Locrian. It's the 7th mode, and the root is B. And the flavor note is F, because a B would normally have an F sharp. That would be a B minor. F natural. I don't delve much into this mode because I don't like heavy metal. And heavy metal is, for some reason, like death metal, heavy metal, they love Locrian. And next time we do a presentation with my distortion pedal, and we can work more on Locrian. Okay, so those are the modes of the major scale. Now, just to go over something, if you wanted, yes, like if we're not working with the mother scale. So the mother scale, simply just tune to a major scale, go up the steps of it, and it's all pre-programmed. What if you don't want to do that pre-programming? What if you're playing in D, you're tuned to D minor, okay? And you say, well, I really want to go into Dorian. So Dorian is also known as the Dorian with the sharpened 6th. So you take any minor scale and just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put up that 6th note and you're in Dorian. So if modes are steps in a scale, right? What happens if we try modes in other scales in the major scale? So we touched a bit upon that in the beginning, where I showed you about taking modes of the pentatonic scale. Now we're going to delve a little bit into territory that's not often delved into in Western music, and that's taking modes of the harmonic minor. So what is a harmonic minor? So we'll experiment with this with the A minor scale, and we're now kind of for a second leaving the focus of modes and going on to a different scale first, just to get used to a different scale. And so we're playing, here's an A minor, And I'm going to bring another drone in just to help us experience this. Okay.
Simca,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know you're sort of getting into that right now, but the last question, and I think it will all kind of gel after you get through this part, is it true that modes do not have sharps or flats? That was a question. But as I said, then I think where you're going now may answer that.
That's a good question. So I think that perhaps people might think that because the way modes are so often taught as is just modes of the C major scale. Take the scale without any sharps or flats and you can get to all the modes. But a mode is like sharps and flats are all relative, right? Depending on where you are on the scales. Like if you start in D major and you take the modes of a D major scale, you're going to have an F sharp and a C sharp in all of your modes.
So if I can just rephrase a little bit, it's the key signature of the mother mode. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you are in the F Dorian, you're going to have a B flat, right? Because the mother mode is F, or the mother note is.
Well, Dorian's a minor scale, so let's see. To play F Dorian, so
oh no, F Dorian would be G, right?
Let's see, we would tune to an F minor. Oh, that's a tricky one. So F minor would have. Okay, so I'm in F minor now, and I would sharpen the sixth note, right? So I'd go out F, G, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll sharpen that D sharp, which I can't do here because I'm tuned differently. And that would give you Dorian. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Or
Marion, did that help? Did that make sense? I don't think I explained it well, but I guess to me, when I see what you called the mother note, right?
Mhm.
That would be where your sharps and flats come from.
Yes,
So
yes.
Yes, that's I guess what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
So you're
well said.
bound to have sharps and flats. It just depends on what the mother mode,
Yeah.
mother note is.
Yeah, the mother scale. And
Mother
there are
scale.
people that might be against that approach. I love that approach because it just simplifies it so much. But like if people want to check out in a journey through the modes in my workshop there, so I take it where I go more into the intervals of why the modes are working, and really it just the intervals are pre-baked into the mother scale. But you could really look at each mode as its own scale. Like my son when he got trained in music school, so they want to teach them how to be able to just throw out each mode on the spot without a mother scale. Like play me F Dorian, play me A Lydian, and they really have to know the intervals to do that. Like you would know, just like the intervals of a major scale is like whole, whole, half, whole, whatever. So you'd know the intervals for a Dorian or a Lydian. But that's a more complicated. And here we're trying to simplify it so we can actually use it and do it.
And absolutely. And I think everyone who is watching, and as you start to delve in this, if you're further along, then yes, those other courses should be for you. But, starting right in C major and working off these beautiful little green flower charts, stay there and get comfortable and get used to it,
Yeah.
and then move on.
Yeah. Robin, can you remind me how much time we have so I'll know how to work through the
You
next
have
slides?
8 minutes before I say questions.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So we're gonna a little bit feel some of the modes of the harmonic minor scale. So what is a harmonic minor? A harmonic minor is basically taking any minor scale. So I just chose the A minor scale because it's so accessible. We're tuned right now, tuned to C major, so we're automatically tuned to the relative A minor. and just sharpening the 7th note. To make that even easier, I'll just look below the tonic. So if I'm in A, I'll just go 1 note below that, and that's G, and sharpen the Gs. And now I'm in A harmonic minor. This is very like Middle Easternish. So I'll take that original pattern we started with, the 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just walking up and down the scale. E, F, G sharp, A. E, F, G sharp, A, B, A, G sharp, A, F, F, G, F, E. So that's a harmonic minor scale. Now let's try different modes of this scale to see what modes, what that does. Like, we're so used to hearing it in the major scale. And this is really shocking. Like, it takes, any scale you take will just take it to a different place. So we'll take the harmonic minor scale, and let's begin from the 5th mode. So the 5th mode is A, B, C, D, E. We'll begin from the 5th mode. This becomes our new tonic, and this is also called the Phrygian dominant. It's called the Ahava Rabbah, which in Hebrew means like great love. It's called Spanish Phrygian, Phrygish, Spanish Gypsy, has a lot of names. So basically we're keeping the same tuning of the harmonic minor, that's the mother scale, but we're starting now on E. And hear how much of a difference this makes to everything. This is a very drastic difference. I'll just play back starting from A so you can hear the difference. So here we're on A, the 1st mode of the harmonic minor, and I'm going to go to the 5th mode. I'll start on E. Listen to what this does. Very Spanish. You have. So that's the 5th mode of the harmonic minor. So again, just to stick into that tuning, it's an A minor tuning, no sharps or flats, unless you're tuned to like E flat, but B, the notes of a C major scale or A minor scale with a sharp in G, and my tonic, the bass note, is in E. So that's the Phrygian dominant. It's also in the Middle East, it's in Arabic, it's called Hijaz. Yes, definitely Sephardic in flavor. Now, here's a really cool one. Oh, just bonus question here. What would you say is the main flavor note of this Phrygian dominant? So we have flavor notes. Remember, we said the flavor note is what changes it from the regular major scale. So what note would anyone guess here is really bringing out the scale? Other than the G sharp, because that's like the... Well, yeah, so the G is really a big part of the scale. Joao, they're saying A or B. F natural. Yes, Deborah. So that F natural is really what's, you can hear it, like has that dissonance to it. And that F natural, why? Because that's what makes it so different than an E major scale. An E major scale, just put up that F to an F sharp and you have, oh, it sounds like a regular major scale. Back to Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know? So just changing that F into F natural changes everything. Yeah. Now we're going to try this other one. Let's start on D. This actually just came upon this last night when I was like working on the slides and working on this. I haven't really experimented myself with the different modes of the harmonic minor so much. And I was just walking through them and I tried on D. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So I checked with ChatGPT. What's this one called? And it said, oh, that's called the Ukrainian Dorian. It's also known as the Misha Berach, which is also Hebrew. I think there's a certain prayer that Misha Berach means the one who blesses. So that must have been the tune that they used hundreds of years ago in the scale. Hungarian minor, and it's also known as the Dorian sharp 4, which we'll get to that in a second. So let's start on D. So we're back in D. You can maybe guess why this is called the Dorian sharp 4. How similar does it sound to Dorian? I'm just gonna ignore that G sharp for a second. Right? It's almost Dorian. But what's different is the G sharp here. Isn't that beautiful? So this is kind of like a mix of Dorian. If you're ever just playing around in Dorian and you want to spice up a little bit, give it like that like more ancient Middle Easternish feeling, you can just sharpen the 4th note and you'll be in this Ukrainian Dorian. So that's the Ukrainian Dorian. Yeah, so that's something I think I'm going to start playing around with the scale much more often. You'll probably see this popping up in my future YouTube videos. I just really liked this scale. I love Dorian so much, and like mixing Dorian with Middle Eastern with the harmonic minor is like a dream for me. It sounds so cool.
So Simcha, one thing I want people to remember is what you said in the beginning, that this may seem very, very foreign right now and uncomfortable, and may not make sense right away, but in time and with experimentation, I think it really becomes more comfortable.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for reminding that. And that there's no limit to how much that needs to be reminded with modes.
And also, for me, the key was the flavor note. That really helped me when I watched your video, and I would definitely watch the video. It's kind of like taking this and giving everything a little bit more time.
Yeah, it's a challenge putting this into half an hour.
No, but you really
he was warned.
You really, what you've given us so far, and I think we should open it up for people to put questions in the chat. You've given us so much so far, and for me, the thing that helps me the most with this, and maybe it's a silly thing, but I think everybody learns differently. Learning, and now for me, delving into what songs are songs that I might know and sing along with, and wait a minute, that's a mode? Who knew that was a mode? But you start to hear it and you're like, oh, Scarborough Fair, well, I know that song. I don't have to be this queen of improvisation. I already play in the Dorian mode because I play that song. So that really helps a lot, putting the contemporary with these songs. But I'd like people to really jump in that chat now. We know you have lots of questions. I think this will probably be one of our most watched over videos, because literally, everyone, you can watch this video over and over again and practice with it. It gave me so much going and getting my harp. I'm over here like the mode queen. Y'all just don't know it. So any questions? And my question to you is, why is Dorian your favorite? Is it just because of the sound? Because you said you love the sound. Why?
That's a great question, Robin. I don't know. I mean, why does somebody like apple pie or donuts or
a la mode?
Yeah. I think, I don't know, there's something very spiritual about it. It's definitely one of the more ancient modes. Where it really comes to shine with Dorian is, right now we only dealt with the modes, but when you're playing in a mode, you can still bring in chords. And so what I like so much about Dorian is bringing in the chord that really lifts it up, which with Dorian is the G. Oh, I'm still harmonic minor over there. But so here I'll just give a quick example of Dorian D minor to G major. D minor. So it's that contrast of the D minor to the G major, and that G major is unique to Dorian, because if I was in D minor, if I was tuned to D minor, the G would be minor too. So I think to answer that on a deeper level, why I like Dorian is what it does to everything around it also. It's like it gives you that jump from the D minor to the G major.
Simca, we're getting a lot of wonderful comments about how this has made it accessible, which I totally
Oh,
agree.
awesome. Yay.
And don't worry about the pages. You'll see that on the replay. Katie will put that up, and you'll go to the Atlanta Harp Center homepage, or not homepage, events page, excuse me, on their website, and you'll be able to get that when it's played for the when it's done in the replay. So, and while we were thinking of it, or while I'm thinking of it, Simca, can you talk a little bit about the fact that you do coaching and what's going on with Strings of Hope? You're
Oh,
starting.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
thank you.
I also teach one-on-one lessons over Zoom, and I'm launching hopefully the beginning of next month my Strings of Hope membership, which will be an online community with bi-monthly Zoom workshops with the group. So there's a link here if people want to sign up that they'll get notified as soon as it launches. And the approach I'm taking with teaching over Strings of Hope is people are so many times I get these questions
Do
on
you
videos I
have
share
the
is like,
address? Oh, sorry.
so many times people are asking how do I improvise, and like I want to play like that, and what I realize I've been trying to put together into some sort of system of all the different skill sets that are needed in order to improvise. And so like I call them the learning paths, and that's what I'll be teaching Strings of Hope. So there will be lessons on modes, there will be lessons on playing meditatively, there'll be lessons on finding songs by ear, understanding chords, different foundational elements of like patterns and things like that. So like I'll be approaching teaching through different skill sets instead of just learning how to play songs note by note.
Sorry, I was actually trying to talk to Katie and ask her what is the best way for them, I think she just put it up, to get a hold of you for private Zoom coaching. Just Strings of Hope, would that be a good way to get
Oh, an
through?
email?
Or would email be better? Yeah.
Yeah, I can be reached at simcha@stringsofhope.com. SIMCHA at stringsofhope.com.
And Katie will put that
Um,
up. Okay.
on my website, stringsofhope.com, I forgot to include that link. So there's an easy way to just reach out to me over there. Facebook, also Simcha Tzuf or Strings of Hope. Oh, stringsofhope@gmail.com. That's an easier one to remember.
Okay, great. And before
Yeah.
we head out today, we have asked Simca to play us out, as we usually do with our guests. But before we do that, a couple of things. The trivia, nobody got the trivia, but here's what I'm going to say. If you want to come up with your own mnemonic now that you know the Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. I'll tell you what Park Stickney's. Do you know Park Stickney's mnemonic device for that, Simca? It's I don't play like Miles after lunch.
Oh,
Oh,
I love
good.
it.
So we do have a winner. I don't prefer loud mouths at length. All right, there you go. We have our winner for today. For the
There you go. And real quickly, Simca, from the harmonic minor, could you state again which scale note you used to start the Ukrainian Dorian mode?
Yeah, so that was on D. So just if you tune to harmonic minor, we did A harmonic minor, so that would be an A minor with a G sharp, and then counting up one, two, three, four notes. That gives you the Ukrainian Dorian. If I went up 5 notes, someone else I saw previously in the chat asked about the Phrygian dominant. So that would be the 5th note of the harmonic minor.
Well, let me tell you, you guys, if you have any more questions, you know how to reach him. You should reach out. You should join all these initiatives. There was never this many choices and opportunity to become the best harpist you can be with all these things out for you. So please take advantage. We are so excited that you were with us today and can't wait for you to play us out.
and
Thank you.
Simca, wait, I just want to also mention I see a lot of new faces today. So thank you so much for bringing some new faces to Hanging with the Harp, and we hope we see them next month, third Tuesday, 4 o'clock. And go ahead and play us out. And thank you so much for
Okay,
being our
so
guest today.
I think a song I like to play, this is an ancient song. It has Hebrew words to it. And what I like about this song is it mixes D minor with D Dorian. So the first part of it starts in D minor, and then when it goes up to the higher part, it goes into Dorian mode. Anim smiot b'shiri me'od ki elecha nafshi tavod Anim smiot b'shiri me'od ki elecha nafshi tavod. Ready? Going to go into Dorian here. Nafshi chamda. Heard that, Dorian? B'tzel yadecha ladat kol chasodecha. Again, the Dorian. Nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol chasodecha. Thank you, everyone, so
Thank
much.
you.
Really enjoyed sharing, and
Thank you. They
That was a lot
loved
of
it so
fun.
much they didn't just cut you, because usually our thing is like boop. Katie's like boop, but we're so mesmerized. It was just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, everyone, for hosting.